welcome you all to the second session of the Talk Master series. I am Manvi, one of the conveners at We Speak at IIT Bombay, and I'll be moderating the session. So we have with us our speaker, Ms. Taanya Kathpal. She is a 3-time TEDx speaker and the founder of Eat My News. Please do not unmute yourself. She's a 3-time TEDx speaker and the founder of Eat My News. She transformed her passion to create a community-driven platform called Eat My News with a global leadership and more than 5,000 members across the world. She also has her YouTube channel and series going on, Politics Explained by Taanya Kathpal. I'm sure in the second workshop, where she will be discussing the soft skills required in a professional environment, you will learn a great deal about them, and that will actually perfect your orating skills, which will help you a great deal in your future as well, with your impression lasting long on people in general. So, handing over.
Thank you, Manvi. Such a lovely introduction. It's indeed a pleasure to be here. I'm audible. You all can hear me properly.
Yes, ma'am, you're
All good. Great. So, I just want to say that don't treat it as a workshop or some kind of a lecture, because that's not what this is going to be. I prefer to address your questions. I prefer it to be interaction, share some of my experiences with you, and most importantly have fun. And this afternoon, let's not make it boring, and just understand and talk about things. So we have chat, right? So you all have access to chat. Can you all just write hi on the chat if you can see it? Fantastic. So at any point you all can certainly talk to me on chat. Let it be a live interactive session, okay? And in case you all have a deeper question, or somebody wants to share some inputs or whatsoever, please feel free to unmute yourself and speak. Okay, don't think that you're interrupting. The purpose of me being here is for you, so I hope you make the most of it. And how are you all this afternoon, Wednesday afternoon? Awesome. Are you guys enjoying the virtual college or not so much? Dizzy? Oh, go get yourself a cup of coffee, Stuti, so that you can, faint between the session. Okay. Not really. Okay, sleepy after lunch. Yeah, I think it's time for that post-lunch sleepiness. Even I had my lunch a while ago. So, yeah, but I can't be sleepy because I have to speak. Wonderful, willing to learn best practices. I'm willing to learn from you as well, Himanshu, and hear your thoughts. Online is nice. Rucha thinks that cool, don't have to go to college and sit in classes. How lovely. Okay, great. Yes, so what are we talking about today, Manvi? We're talking about communication and public speaking. Great. These two are, how do I tell you, these are like huge topics, and I'm so glad your college picked it up, because I mean, I speak about things like entrepreneurship and other stuff as well, but it is communication that's always the closest to my heart, because I feel that, oh my god, we all undermine this so much, so much, and we don't realize that how consequential communication skills is for our career success, for our life success. Don't we communicate with our in personal relationships, professionally, everywhere. We are always communicating. But why do we not really put so much effort to try and learn it? Or there's always a method to the madness. It's not always about speaking your mind ki jo man mein aaya, quickly typed it out, quickly blurted it out. Uh, mm, so I think learning this is very important. I mean, there's so much to it. I can't possibly talk about everything in the next few minutes, but hopefully, I'll try and leave you with some things that you can immediately action and are easy to apply. So, first of all, what is communication? I don't know. I'm not sounding like a theory teacher who wants a definition from you, but I think it's so important to understand the foundation and to understand what it is. Exchange of thoughts, yes, conveying views. Go on, guys, and feel free to write whatever, it's fine. There's no right or wrong answer. Expressing ideas. Okay, let me give you a quick hint. Sometimes when you type something or when you say something, has anybody ever been misunderstood? Yes. So now what do you think communication is? We've all been misunderstood. Come on. I made such horrendous mistakes in sending out emails myself, and then I've had to bear the consequences. So what do you think communication is now that I've given you all the hint? It's about conveying everything we want to communicate, exchanging. Lovely, Stuti. Making the other person understand our thoughts and information and understanding theirs. Now, what we most of the people are doing is they are communicating, but they don't know. I mean, is it communication if you don't get what I'm trying to say? Then it's just an exchange of words or thoughts. But communication is something that should lead to the other person understanding the true intent of what you're saying and completely understanding the message. When you pick up the phone and there's disturbance and you're like, hello, hello, is that communication? It's not, right? You're not able to connect. That time you're facing some kind of a technological barrier. So, anyways, you get the point. So, yeah, I think we also we communicate with ourselves, we communicate with others on a one-on-one basis or on a group basis, and sometimes we speak at certain forums which constitutes as public speaking, such as what I am doing right now because I'm speaking to a lot of people. So this constitutes public speaking. Now we'll go into each of these one by one and talk about it. Okay, so let's start with first understanding that why is communicating with oneself extremely important in doing it well. How do we communicate with ourselves? Tell me, guys. Go get tea, coffee for yourself if you're feeling sleepy. Giving ourselves reasons, inner talk. Yeah, we all often talk to ourselves and we're always communicating with ourselves. The voices in my head, okay? Yes, that's, you also have this thing, the subconscious is also there. Yeah, great. Hmm. So, imagining scenarios in bathroom and talking to ourselves. Oh God. Meditation. Yeah. So there are different ways in which we all communicate with ourselves. But now, one of the there are oftentimes things that we say to ourselves. So, anyways, let's pose a question at you. Okay. What do you think is the difference between perception and attitude? What do you think? Okay, forget. Let's make it easier for you. What do you think comes first? A perception comes first or attitude comes first? Which one of them comes first? Perception. Okay. One attitude, others are saying perception. You know, you all are very smart, very, very smart audience. I've delivered, sessions on communication in various corporates as well, but most of them get it wrong. No wonder y'all all are in IIT. Yeah, great. Yes, perception does come first, but why does it come first? Why not attitude? That's what people see and judge you on. Hmm. Good thoughts. Is somebody speaking? Perceptions, first outlook, first reaction to something. Yes, yes, yes. Very well spoken, very well, very intelligent audience. Now, uh, how you perceive things defines your attitude towards it. And why am I talking about this at the very first instance? Is because you need to understand that tomorrow, when your communication, it's all also a game of perception. So how you perceive the whole situation to be, or communicating with somebody to be, will define your attitude towards that situation. And if you really want to ace your communication, you have to get your perception right. Now let's give you a very basic example. Okay, now let's say it's a rainy weather outside, though it's not. I don't know which I mean, are you all in Bombay? No, everybody's in their hometown now. Anybody in Delhi here? Okay, I'm in Delhi and the weather is terrible here. It's really, really terrible. Yeah, so now imagine if it were raining. Now there are some people who, perceive rains to be as, oh my god, it's gonna get dirty, it's gonna get really humid. Just a very, very basic example to help you establish what I'm trying to say. Then what becomes their attitude towards rain becomes very negative. But then there is another section of people who are like, wow, it's raining, what a lovely day. And whenever I think of that, I get reminded of my mother, because every time it rains, she's extremely happy and she's just like, wow, it's going to rain. So she gets really so, automatically your attitude becomes that towards a particular situation. Similarly, if you're going to be attending any kind of meeting, or if you're going to be getting in a conversation with somebody, if your perception is that, oh my god, I really think that this person doesn't like me, I don't think I'm going to make it to this job interview at all, oh, I think I'm going to be terrible on stage, then your perception will come and reflect in your attitude, uh, and inevitably that is what the situation will become. So I mean, there's no point of doing this session if you don't start looking at instances in a more positive light and perceiving things to be wonderful and good. That's your step number one. Okay. Now, you're all with me? Yes, no, maybe? Hi, Mohit. I'm also in Delhi. Wow, Kajal, that was such an excited yes. I can feel your energy. Can the attitude be changed with time? It can change now. It can change now. Just change the way you're communicating with yourself and you'll feel the change. So it has to be a conscious effort. You have to be like, I do it all the time, because when you're aware, Suti, the first thing is that when you are aware of the fact, and if you want to change anything, you just absolutely can. So just try, keep trying. How lovely are you all? Yes. So now another thing that's extremely important, okay, in communication is building relationships with people in college, outside college, at your job. Now, communication is something that fundamentally plays, I'd say, 80% role in your success. It does. You may be super awesome at the job that you're doing. You may be extremely skilled, but tomorrow, whatever internship that you join, whatever job that you're going to take up, if your colleagues and if your bosses like you, you're going to have it very easy and you're going to rise like that in any company. So if you're all scared of communicating, and it's something that can be learned very easily. Okay. Now, how many of y'all are not so good at uh, communicating with strangers? Especially when a situation comes, you just freeze and you're like, what do I say? So sweet. I'm so happy that you're all so honest. You know what? You're all awesome. Yogesh, you're not average, you're awesome. Okay. So now what do we do in such a situation? Per se, let's say if I know it, I am going to meet somebody who is a stranger. Okay. What do you do then? Uh, what I want all of you all to do in your head right now, um, is at least think of one or two questions that you feel you can break the ice with a stranger with. Eventually think of 5. So think of as many as possible. So think, how are you going to break that ice with a stranger? Come up with questions. Think. I'm waiting. What are you going to ask? How are you doing? Good. And the conversation is over. Where are you from? Okay. What else? Come up with some. I was hoping to hear some interesting questions. What do you do? Where are you from? How's the COVID situation? What about your siblings? Okay, what do you want to be? What are your hobbies? What music do you listen to? I'm reading what all of y'all are writing. Talking about ourselves, Rucha will start talking about herself. Crack a joke, okay. What is house you? It's how are you now? What is house? Zzz. What did you have for breakfast? Wow, I think you're all really utilizing this situation to enjoy. Okay. I always say, see, to begin with building any kind of a rapport or a relationship with stranger, what's extremely vital is, of course, I mean, have some questions up your sleeve, but your first impression that you make on people is important. Nobody wants to talk to a person who has a sulky face. Now, imagine if I came to this talk and I was just like, I don't know how to be sulky, but what if I was just like not smiling and very, yes, guys, we're going to talk about communication. I mean, would you even want to listen to me? Who wants to listen to a person who's not, uh, not forthcoming, somebody you don't want to interact with? So I think you all need to work on that aspect about yourself, that it's okay even if you're having a bad day. We all do. You're having a bad day, you're not in a good mood, whatever it is, but when you meet somebody new and when you say hello to that person, smile and be there and be present, be like, hi, how are you doing? You know, automatically when you smile and when you exchange that pleasantry, it's going to help you make sure that the first 50% of the job is done, right? I don't want you all to go to your workplace tomorrow and be like, go up to your boss, go up to your colleagues, be like, hi, can I have your 2 minutes, and you look lovely today, whatever it is, right? Whatever is the kind of question you want to have, questions you want to ask them, do that. If you're somebody who gets really jammed and you don't know what to really talk to the person, try and have one or two questions up your sleeve to start with, so that you're able to build a rapport. But tomorrow you may also have client meetings. You'll be discussing things with clients. So that's not the right approach to just get on a call and be like, yes, let's discuss business today. It's all across the world. You need to exchange pleasantries with people. And ideally, if it's somebody who you know you're going to meet, stalk them a little bit online, check it out, see what would you like to ask them. uh, how can we ask unnecessary questions to boss? It would be a waste of his time. People have a lot of time. I'm not saying you're going to ask, it's no question is an unnecessary question. You have to build a relationship with your boss, Subhendu. You have to, and that's what distinguishes some people from another. I have a doubt. How do we understand was to talk or not? Like, should we wait for the uh every you can gauge it within the conversation, and if you ask interesting questions and if somebody is talking, I mean, there's no rule that I'll say that, oh, they're going to look away, so then you're going to be like, let me move out of the conversation. You have to gauge it on the moment, at the moment, right? But be pleasant, have a smile on your face, even if you're in a terrible mood and you just want to, I don't know, be grouchy all day, still smile, and always make sure that you're kind of addressing people in a pleasant way. Have some questions up your sleeve. Now, the kind of questions you ask are also extremely important. Okay, I don't, we probably learned this long back, but we've kind of forgotten the art of it. What if I today I'll tell you that, how can we show a chill smile? Stuti, smile. Hi, it's lovely to, simple things. Yeah, we've forgotten how lovely to meet you. I'm so delighted to be here. Thank you so much for your time. It's indeed a pleasure to have a conversation with you. The same things that I'm saying, write it down. How lovely of you to have helped me on this. May I please have 2 minutes of your time? Things like this, courtesy, speaking to people, building that kind of a rapport and a relationship with people. Cool. Now, there are two kinds of questions we often ask people. There are open-ended questions and there are closed-ended questions. Closed-ended questions don't elicit too much of a response. Now, let's say, Stuti, if I ask you, how are you? Are you going to tell me, oh, 1 second, let me tell you about me. Oh, I'm not very good because this happened, this happened, this happened. Very rare it'll happen, right? Most of the times, people are just going to be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking. So, a lot of these questions can end your conversation there and then. Isn't it so hot? Yes, it is. So, it doesn't kind of get an individual to elaborate. How's your day going? It's going good. Thanks. How's your day going? I just want you to ask people more interesting and meaty questions online. And when I say meaty questions, I mean, uh, so yesterday I got onto a call with somebody, and the first thing I asked that person is that, wow, I looked up your uh, LinkedIn profile, and uh, so you were working as a manager somewhere. So what led you to start your own company, and how did you get into the whole political thing? I'm very curious about it. Gets the person to speak more about themselves, shows that you're interested in the other person. Forget about yourself. Nobody cares about you. It is about displaying genuine interest in the other person. When you're curious, when you want to know things about the other person, and when you're really, really interested in the conversation, it's certainly going to reflect. And still with me, or some of you have slept? Thanks, Bhuvan. I miss meeting people physically. The only respite is the chat box now. Great. Now, when was the last time you all complimented somebody? Yesterday, day before yesterday, today morning, today, I don't remember. Okay. Could be a long time. Oh God. See, the things that I'm telling you right now may seem very basic. कि अरे what is she saying? Compliment करो, अच्छे से बात करो. But we don't do that. Trust me, we all don't do that. And and I can assure you, if you start implementing all of these things consciously, it's going to really help you get business, get jobs, get everything that you want. All right. I daily compliment mom about food. If you compliment her daily, she's going to get probably immune to your compliments. Lovely. Uh, and what was the best compliment that you can think of that you have got from somebody? Write it down. I'm very keen to hear. You really helped me. Okay, that's it. Great. Stop typing. Let's pick your examples. Okay. Now, the deal with compliments is that people don't really spend time constructing compliments, or a lot of times people say it for the heck of it, that they don't seem genuine, or you you know the impact is not really felt as much as it should be. And why does it happen? Because we just compliment for the heck of it. We don't think before complimenting people. I say there needs to always be attention to detail, and there needs to be specifics. Even when you're writing a cold email, or if you're trying to connect with somebody on LinkedIn and you really want that person to connect with you, what if you want to send a DM to somebody and you really want that person to respond to you? And most of the people don't get those responses, don't get to connect with people who they want to, because you don't put effort in trying to construct something that's personal to that person, and uh, write a message that deserves some kind of a response or time of somebody else. So similarly, when it comes to complimenting, even when it comes to complimenting your boss or your teacher or whoever, it's not okay to give compliments that are not genuine, because uh, I mean, God's just made us that way, that sometimes when we speak and the way our actions and expressions tell the other person, your body language or non-verbal communication ends up communicating a lot more than what you say does. Now let me try and attempt and construct some compliments right here based on what chat you've sent. Okay, you really you really helped me. Again, very basic, but in the sense, let's say if somebody has helped you with exam preparation, right? uh, if you could probably be more specific and be like, you really helped me with scoring good marks this time, and I would really owe it to you, because I feel a part of my success in this college is yours. Seems like you've spoken from the heart. ऐसे नहीं लग रहा कि फटाफट व्हाट्सएप में टाइप कर दिया. You really helped me. It's awesome to spend time with you. When I spend time with you, time literally flies. uh, I've never had more fun than I've had with you today. Whatever, just examples, they need to be very genuine. Your smile is very charming. When you smile, it's like your eyes smile, your nose smiles, your lips smile. It's very, very, what do you call that? It's very contagious. You're absolutely amazing. You're very nice. You're very awesome. You're lovely. You need to go beyond using these adjectives. When you go to your boss and you're complimenting him or her, you go like, let's say your boss has given an amazing presentation, right? You don't say, oh, you give a very amazing presentation. I must say that that point that you spoke during the presentation really stuck with me. You mentioned that point, and then you be like, I must say, when you speak, everybody wants to listen. So there has to, you're getting my point, right? That there has to be specificity in your communication, not just your compliments, but whenever it is that you're mentioning something to someone, the more specific you are, the more better your communication is going to be. And then of course there are going, I feel, Divyanshu, that your compliment needs to be honest, genuine, heartfelt. Don't be stingy in using words. What I'm trying now, the overall what I've discussed with you so far is that it's extremely important to begin by working on your perception, because that's what helps you form your attitude. When you meet anybody, it needs to reflect that you are wanting to speak to that person, you're wanting to build that relationship and rapport with that person, you like that person, you're curious in their lives. Ask, having some questions up your sleeve, especially when you get stuck. Ask everybody the same question, whatever, but have some things up your sleeve. If you have um if somebody really touches your lives, or touches your life, or there's somebody who you really want to make a mark on, construct a wonderful compliment for them and share it with them. Be extremely specific, take care of how you speak. Body language is a whole another subject as well. Now I want to know from you all, how many of you all are really interested in public speaking, and why? Two personal remarks won't sound stocky. Now that's contextual. If you're going to go to Instagram and write to some random girl saying, I've never seen anybody as beautiful as you, then it will sound stocky. Don't do that. I'm not recommending that. Devansha, it needs to be related to what it made you feel. Communication, we as individuals are driven by our emotions. We're emotional beings. So how you feel is something that needs to be expressed. You want to grab attention when you speak to have a better impact of presentation. Okay. Are you all really interested in public speaking, or no, you're not? You love the adrenaline while speaking in public. How lovely. To become invincible, okay. Better at communicating. Okay, great. Now, and how many of you are really scared of see, public speaking, whether you like it or you don't like it, you'll have to do it at some point of time in your life. And that point of time could be just stepping up from your chair and going in and speaking in your classroom. It could be at workplace giving a presentation. So at some point of life, everybody has to do some kind of public speaking, and I feel it's an important skill to learn for everybody. And tomorrow, who knows, you might become a thought leader in your respective field. Oh, you're not in boring, Subindu. Nobody is boring. Okay, fantastic. So, are there any? So, let's establish that public speaking is something that we all need to know as a skill. It's a life skill, right? All of these things are life skills. How to speak, how to build relationships with people, emotional intelligence, public speaking. So, now, what are your fears when you speak in public? Does anybody have any fears? Fear of failure? What if you get stuck in between? That's a very legitimate fear. Being judged, to not be able to convey it properly, getting blank all of a sudden. Hmm. Fear of ridicule and troll. Great, great. I think you all have lack of content. Wonderful. So I think you all have shared some wonderful. Very happy that you've decided to be vulnerable on this chat and share your honest fears. Thank you so much for doing that. Now let's kind of shatter some of your fears right here. Okay. To be an interesting person and not a boring one. Do you know when is the time when you're going to be actually boring? When you're not having fun yourself. When you speak to people and you're bored yourself, they'll find you boring. So when you go, if public speaking is something you really want to do, and if you want to go on stage and you're like, hey, I am enjoying myself, again, positivity perception again comes into play here as well. It's extremely important for you to go on stage thinking that, because see, अगर हमने अपने दिमाग के साथ काम कर लिया, if we work on our mindset, half the battle is won right there. So you're only going to bore if you're bored yourself. You will not bore people otherwise. What if we get stuck in between, or let's say we forget something that we have to say, right? Now, how do you know that when somebody is saying something, have you gone and read their script ever? What if I were to tell you 5 things and I tell you 4 things or 3 things? Will you ever find out? You won't. How will you know? Only I will know. And then I will have that insecurity in my own head that, oh shit, while speaking, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, I forgot to say this. But as long as what you've delivered effectively, that's okay. So why think about that? What if you get stuck in between? If you get stuck in between, get stuck and start talking again. A lot of times we are overtly critical of our own selves more than other people are, and people don't even get to know. Yeah, trust me, people don't get to know. If you take a pause, take a breath, go on again, and the more you practice it, right, you'll also learn how to cover up those fillers. Sometimes people forget and they just crack a joke, or they say something else to just, and people don't really get to know. So this comes with practice. So public speaking is one skill, like writing required practice. As you were a kid, you were kids, right? A, B, C, D, and we would write those sentences. Public speaking cannot be learned if you don't practice it. Being judged. Who, now you tell me, who's on stage? You are on stage, which means you've already accomplished something, or you've done something that makes you be on that stage. And you, who are those people to judge you who are just listening to you? World will always have opinions about you, my friends. They will always have opinions about you. She is good, she's not good, he's not good, I don't like this about him, I don't like that about her. That's always going to be there. You cannot please 100% of people. You just cannot. Don't even try and waste your time. Go do your best. Will I be able to convey properly or not? You don't, it's not, again, will I be able to convey properly or not is not important. Bhuvan, you are sharing your screen. Could you please stop sharing it? Thank you. Will I be able to convey? Remove the I. Don't give yourself so much importance. The biggest and the most golden tip for public speaking is think about your audience. Nobody gives a damn about who you are or how you're going to speak. People care about, are you going to add value to my life or not? It doesn't matter what you're planning to convey. Nobody cares about your 10-line script. People care, has this person added value to my life? So every time you're making a speech, how am I going to add value? How am I going to give people so much and make it so valuable for people? Getting blank all of a sudden, um, now this is legitimate. I'll tell you honestly, when I used to go on stage earlier, my heartbeat went really high, and I used to tremble a little, and then eventually that got okay. So that is something that kind of requires you to spend time working on it. Now there are many techniques to do that, right? Some of them being like power poses, where you really open up your body, you stand like that, where you kind of inch, so you uh, create that perception in your head that you're feeling confident. You say positive affirmations, you practice your content really really well, and suddenly you have to get that adrenaline high, and uh, not think about being nervous, because the moment you think about being nervous and screwing up on stage, it might happen. And even if it happens once, twice, it doesn't matter. Still keep at it. You're going to keep improving. Fear of loss of thought sometime when interrupted and countered. Uh, well, again, for loss of thought, you have to hold on to your thought and not get distracted by audience. You have to control your session. If you give the charge of your session to audience, uh, then that's a problem, because it's your session. You are the owner of that session, and you have to control it. You can't let it slip away from your hands and give it in the hands of the audience. Lack of content, well, Akash, um, lack of content will never be a problem. Lack of preparation might be. If you I feel people are not ready to listen to me. uh, Heartbeat raises when I speak in public. Happened to me also, so Bendu, over time it's gone. And even if I still have it, sometimes when I start speaking and I forget about it and I come in front of the audience, it goes away on its own. So with time, trust me when I say that I went through the same thing, I overcame it, and you also can. I feel people are not ready, um, or like to listen to me. um, that's not true. That's your own insecurity speaking in your head. People are there, everybody will listen to you. Say yes, people will listen to me. I'm going to add so much value into people's lives, and um, I'm going to be really really awesome at doing it. Don't berate yourself, don't put yourself down. Please don't. Not just for public speaking or anything, but for anything in life. Please don't do that. You're amazing the way you are. And when preparing for public speaking, um, I think another 5 minutes, and then I'll take one or two questions and we'll wrap this up. So when preparing for public speaking, you need to be extremely clear about why are you delivering this session, who are you delivering to, know your audience. Some quick tips to be able to create content for public speaking would be that you'll have to have some structure in mind. Understand one thing, that you can't overdose people with a gazillion messages. Okay, people find it extremely hard to retain more than 5 to 7 things. Seven top limit. So before you prepare any presentation, or uh, any kind of speech, don't have more than 7 things that you want to convey in that uh, speech. You can have 2 things, you can have 3, 4, not more than 7 for sure. uh, your introduction is extremely important. If you can speak at least for 2 minutes without looking at the screen, or reading through the presentation. Presentation is a distraction, is what I say. Presentation does not need to have so much text and everything. That's a very what do I say, 10-15 year old technique. जब पीपीटी आया था and people would put bullet points and they would be like, see guys, see behind me what's written. People are there to listen to you, to talk to you. Nobody gives a damn about reading your damn presentation. If at all you want to use visual aids, have lovely images on it, something that reinforces the message that you're trying to say. So that is very important. um, Stories are a great way. Stories are always wonderful. Stories, examples, anecdotes, add as much as these. So let's say I've added 1 point. Okay, let's say I've written my, so first thing I'm doing when I'm writing my content is, okay, who am I talking to? Why am I talking to them? Step number one. Step number two, these are my messages that I want to convey. Step number three, how am I going to start so that I can really get people's attention? My introduction. Now, introduction has to be you connecting with your audience. The first thing that you want to do is to connect with the audience and not start talking about, so this is this statistics or this numbers and this and that. Draw their attention. Then it's about how are you going to convey each point in the best possible way, like you're explaining to a 5-year-old. What are the kind of examples you're going to use? Does it relate to any story that you've done? How are you going to tap into people's emotions? Are there any anecdotes you can share? Are there any powerful numbers? Again, numbers, what people really make mistakes is that, uh, how do I say, 75% of people are suffering from this. Do you think it even make your statements extremely visual? 3 out of every 4 people you know might be suffering from this. Now, do you see the difference in 2 points? How it's communicated? So you have to make things, people are visual, they're imaginative. Make people imagine, and you're a winner. And once you've kind of done it, rehearse it, be extremely well prepared, then have your visuals and stuff ready. When it comes to visuals, if you have to use ppt, don't make those sulky bullet point ppts. Have good visual imagery. Have aesthetic presentations. Please don't use those old years ugly presentations. And most importantly, speak from your, I don't know, the one thing that I really believe in communication or in public speaking is that speak from your heart, even if your voice shakes. When you speak from your heart, and when you try and add value to people's lives, you're never gonna fail. Yes, any questions, guys? Do hand expressions? Yes, they matter. uh, they do matter. So Yogesh, body language is a whole different science. Okay, everything conveys something about you. Can't go so deep into it, but all I can say is that yes, the more people see your palms in, I mean, on screen nowadays it's not possible, but physically the more open you are, if you choose, try and not speak on podiums, but and not have any barrier between you and your audience, all of these things make a lot of subconscious difference. Should we consider, uh I say, Diksha, spontaneity is the best, but to when you're really starting it out, I suggest write write a script. Please have a script. In that script you will have the key messages, points that you're going to say under those messages, sequencing of how you're going to say what. If you have a watertight script and you're clear about how you're going to present it, it's important. And I suggest write your own script, because that makes you very natural. When you own your content, and if you're so and you're so comfortable with it, you'll be very, very confident delivering it. Yeah, sure, sure. My goodness, it's 4 o'clock, guys. I have to bounce, so quickly, let's take questions.
So I suggest that if people have questions, they can raise their hands, and then one by one we could take up their questions, right? On spot, not via chat. If anyone wants to ask directly.
Guys, even if you have questions beyond this session, whatever, uh, you can always get in touch with me on my Instagram or on my LinkedIn. I am TAANYA. TAANYAKATHPAL. Tanya Kathpal on Instagram and on LinkedIn both. How can I be better prepared to speak off the cuff when you, let's say, a certain question is, do you mean when like somebody randomly invites you and stuff, and how do you speak? Okay, requires a lot of knowledge. Firstly, for you to be able to speak on any topic, you will have to start reading up a lot, acquire a lot of knowledge, um, and have enough content up your sleeves. Next, when you're speaking, don't just start talking and blabbering. Have some structure in your mind, at least, that this is how I want to start, this is what I want to convey, and this is how I want to end. Key messages are very important. When you do that, you're not going to be all over the place. Like the content, read a lot. It takes time. I don't think you can ever be 100% prepared. Read books, go watch videos, learn.
We also had a question coming up like if in
How do you hold
interviews.
the attention of a smaller group of people? How do you hold attention of a smaller group of people, panel of interviewers or a social group? Very contextual. I can't really understand what kind of a smaller group are you talking about. But I would just like to say that don't go on and on talking. People have limited times, limited attention spans. Add value, speak with conviction, speak, don't repeat yourself. Um, Treat others' time as important, and always have some structure. Know when you want to start and finish.
Excuse me, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually had also a question coming up like if in interviews, how to build a more personal connection with the interviewer so that they see you as more than a candidate, like what we could talk about.
Good question. Firstly, the first impression you'll end up making on an interviewer is the moment you'll enter the room. So if they see you as nervous and closed, they know that, this person. When you enter, be smiley, be friendly. Something like, "Thank you so much for having me here," and I was really looking forward to this interview, and make some comment that's related to that place or something. Let's say if you've gone to a place and you've seen a painting, right? Be like, "I saw this painting and it's really lovely. Just wanted to, something related to that place." Or let's say if there's a company, so I'm so this is what I really read about the company, and this is what really made me extremely excited to be here and speaking to you. Just have one question, if I may ask. I was looking at your LinkedIn profile, and this is what you've done. How do how did you end up doing this, or something like that? So immediately that kind of warms up your interviewer to you. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think let's wrap it up now. Okay, whatever questions you all have, you can send them to me on Instagram or on LinkedIn. And I'll see you guys there. And once again, thank you so much for being here, taking out your time to listen. And I hope that I've been able to add some value to your lives through this session. And I know, I understand it's an afternoon session, gets really tough to hear, but thank you for doing this. Bye bye. Take care. God bless you. Uh, I wish you all success in your life. Hope our paths cross soon. And I pray for your success and for you all to be able to physically attend college and live a college life once again.
We would also like to thank you for taking your time out and actually coming up with such a great session about. And I really think that it has made me an impact about at least the speciality and the personal messages. And I really hope that everyone enjoyed it as well as I did. Thank you for coming on. And
Thank
thank
you.
you everyone for attending the session. It was great seeing you all here to be present and